I'm gonna have a heart attack. You're stressing me out.
Yes. You have to literally stop. Stop.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. For my situation, we've been together, married for 12 years. And just this year alone, my husband started acting a little bit different. So I suspected some stuff was going on. Turns out, after going with my gut, unlocked his phone, found out he was being unfaithful. He told me he didn't want to be married. We wanted to be separated. Um, Said it's been like this for a long time coming. I just wasn't paying attention. And he was just like there were so many things. It's just a build up and it can't work. We're still together. We still live in the same house together. We have kids.
How many kids?
Um,
So how long have you been together? Just tell me that again. Is it
12
17?
years.
12
12.
years.
Mm-hmm.
12 years. And how many children do you have together?
Four. I mean, we have two together, three together, and one not of our marriage.
Okay, got it. All right, I got it. So you have four kids, you have three together. And
Mhm.
and so you discovered, how long was it that you just ago that you discovered the infidelity, the affair?
About a few months ago.
A few months ago. All
Hmm
right. And how many months is that?
I want to say about March or April, and I'm the one you were just talking about, where my first reaction is just to fly off the handle. So I kind of went crazy on him. I do, from time to time, just say things just like you can just go. I mean, I love my husband. I definitely want to make it work. I've told that to him as well. However, it's just the thought of him just entertaining somebody else or talking to somebody else, or the stuff that we did together where we would always be calling each other all the time. And he says that I've programmed him. He really can't do anything. Um, he's stressed, just a whole lot of things. But
Yeah.
we still sleep in the same bed together. We're
Do
still
you
in
have
the
sex
same
from
house
time to
together.
time?
Yes, we do
Oh, good.
often.
Fantastic. Good. Good. Listen, girl, keep giving it up. All right. I'm gonna tell you that's rule number one. I'm serious. All right. And I'm gonna tell you why, because that means that like sex releases dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. You can't let that be going on out there, and then you're not
Right,
gonna have a shot, is the bottom line.
right.
So I love where you're at inside of it, and I understand the flying off the handle. I would have, just for those of you who find out that your partner has, there's something going on, you want to actually evaluate. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's better for you to evaluate the situation before you actually confront them with the situation, so we can figure out what is it that we're not doing that they need. So it seems like he is. Hey, do you have my book? Did you buy my
I
book?
don't have your book. I wish I did. I do not have your book. But I would love to get it because like
Yeah.
I feel like my husband is like confused on really what he really wants. Because when he's home, it's like he's the same person we were forever ago. It's just that he has a lot of things, and I've made mistakes. Again, with it, he's basically said I'm controlling, and I did kind of when we talked about it. I do feel like I have been controlling, but at this point, I'm trying to control the fact of letting go of that control because
Yes.
when we're together and we're in a good place, we get along. However, the thing that I've lacked the most from him is quality time.
Yes.
And that's what has brought us to this point was he doesn't recognize the fact that I really want quality time with him. And he just when he leaves all the time, that brings the attitude out of me, which after
No,
all this time is
Lana.
what
What's the issue with your relationship is that you don't get that when your husband. So there are five. I'm sorry, I cut you off, but I'm being coached now.
no, you're
Can I
good.
be coached with you? Thank you.
Hmm
So there are five happy hormones that we're all trying to get to. Dopamine, I'm sorry, four. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. And the last thing that we're trying to do is get to alleviation of stress. Your husband's an alleviation of stress, and then you stress him out.
I
Does that
do.
make sense?
Yes,
And
I do
so
stress him out.
literally what's happening is he's doing whatever he can to self-medicate to take
Right.
away, to alleviate the stress. And so you've basically put him in the arms of another woman. Let me ask you another question. I know that sounds hard, to say, but it is what's happening, is the bottom line. But listen, if you can get that, now you can get your marriage back, right? Is the bottom line. That's why I say it this straight, because I mean, he's still here. It sounds like he wants to be here. You make sense here, then you also make sense here. I can tell that you guys are he's in flux, right? But he's trying to figure out, trying to reconcile these two things that are pulling him in these two different directions. The one is
Right.
his love for you and his attraction for you, right? Because he is definitely still attracted to you, still loves you very much. But then there's the other thing, which is that he doesn't feel good around you sometimes, and he's not
That's
getting what
very true.
he needs from you. Does that make sense? So we have to
Absolutely.
stop. Yes, you're literally pushing him away. And if we can get you to stop doing that first and foremost, then maybe we can get the inflammation to come down in the relationship enough for him to see, for your relationship to begin the healing process. Does that make sense what I'm saying? But it's got to start from there. Okay.
Right.
So hold on, let me just figure out what his other thing is. So kind of tell me a little bit more about, does he have any hobbies? Tell me about, like, what are the most important, give me some characteristics of your husband.
For him, his hobbies used to be he liked to do his like RC cars, and he did a lot of stuff that
What's he doing
he
now?
enjoyed.
Tell me what he's doing now.
Right now he does nothing. He tries to stay away from home.
All right, what does he do? Can you tell me what he does?
As far as employment,
Yeah.
he's a warehouse supervisor.
Okay. Tell me a little bit. I'm looking for, I kind of feel like he's a serotonin, which means that he likes to feel significant. He likes to feel good
He
about
does.
himself.
He definitely
He likes
does.
to look good. Does he like to look good? Big looking good?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
100%. I got him. All right. So yeah. So he's a serotonin, right? Very much so. And I could tell that he's a serotonin, and he's a manager, right? So that is another
Yes.
thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so here's what that looks like. And this is why he's susceptible to what you're dealing with and what you've got to do right away to begin to stay this situation. You're probably still doing it, and that's why I want you to stop. Right? The very thing that's got to stop now is that you've got to stop. Um, he's got to feel good about himself. That's why he'll be with a lesser woman. So
And I
even
think that
though,
is the case.
yeah, I'm sure you seem like an exceptional woman now, and I read people very well. So it's not that. It's not because of you. It's not about you. It's about how he feels about himself when he's with you, or about himself, period. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what's got to happen is that you've got to now, you're so stuck on you. I need quality time. I need quality time. Right? And so what you're doing is you're causing him stress, and then you're not giving him what he needs. He's self-medicating. Nobody wants to go. You don't have three children with a woman so you can step out of your relationship. Does that make sense? He just
Yes.
doesn't know how to be with where he is inside of your relationship right now. So that's why I'm not saying that he's right for it. I'm not giving him an excuse for it. That's not what I'm saying at all. 100%. And we're going to do what we're going to do when we need what we need, is the bottom line. And that is the whole story. Okay? And so that's what he needs right now. He needs to actually feel good about himself, and he hasn't been feeling good about himself when he's with you. So those two things are pushing him away. I can tell you guys have a strong connection and a strong attraction still. I can tell. And so what happens is that he's being pushed away from you doubly as much, because he is a alleviation of stress, but you're
He
not
said that
alleviating
too.
his
He's like, "You're
stress.
stressing me out. You're stressing me out. I'm gonna have a heart attack. You're stressing me out."
Yes. You have to literally stop. Stop at all cost to do that. If you don't, he literally is going to run away from you. He's going to run out of that house. Does that make sense? So you're going to have to
Hmm.
hold your tongue, my friend, literally. And I know you don't want to, but you're going to, because you've got to bring down that and understand, guys, there are specific things that your partner needs that if you don't deliver that to them, it's literally like life. It's like oxygen. He needs that alleviation of stress to continue to operate well. Does that make sense? And he feels
Yes.
like he feels like it's going to kill him. He literally does, which just feels like, yeah, he says stuff like that, right? I can see that smirk of recognition. Um, you've got to be that. You have to be that source of alleviation of stress. You do that, I guarantee you, the affair partner goes away. I'm not
Hmm.
lying, because of who
Hmm.
he is. That's number one. Number two, you're going to have to do something else. And the next thing that you're going to have to do that's going to shift the relationship is that you now have to now use these triggers. And usually I can't tell you on this call, it's not enough time, but there are triggers that you can use to make him feel like he's the biggest thing in the world when he comes home. But you can do
Hmm.
that, even though this situation is where it is. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. All right, cool. Awesome. You got me in your ear, right?
Yeah, you
Okay,
have to
good.
signal. Yeah,
Because I'm
you're in
giving
my
you,
ear.
okay, we got the tea going and everything. So we got to make sure, I got to make sure I'm giving you
Yeah,
the good
you're in my
stuff.
ear.
All right. All
Hmm.
right, cool. Awesome. All right. So, yeah, those two things, you do those two things, we're going to shift the relationship. Do you
Okay.
understand that? But
Hmm.
listen, this is why people actually come to me, guys, is because not only because it's easier said than done. Lana's obviously a very educated, woman. She's well, she grew up well. Her parents raised her well and all that. And there are moments where you have these moments. She said she flew off the handle. Well, we got to make sure she no longer flies off the handle. She may be given to what she needs, focusing on what she needs, and then she's not present to what he needs. She needs to actually, in this moment, give the relationship what it needs, right? So I got an injury and one of my legs, it was weaker, right, is the bottom line. And so what happened is I had to now put more weight on the other leg. I had to take a little bit of weight off that leg. Does that make sense? I got to
Hmm.
baby that leg. This is what you got. You got a husband, you got a man who, yes, he's strong and he's supposed to be the one who's holding it all, and he doesn't have the power to hold it all right now. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So it's got
Yes.
to be you. You got to be the strong leg for your
Okay.
relationship, is the bottom line, which means that you don't get to fly off the handle. You don't get to go to those places that you've gone to. Does that make sense? You just can't,
Yes.
right? Is the bottom line. You got to
Hmm.
deal with your own, what we call programming. And that programming is having you get triggered because it's having you not feel good about yourself when all that
Right.
stuff is going on. But if you can
Right.
actually get past you and actually be there for him and trigger his happy hormone, I'm telling you, and give him what he needs. Number one, the alleviation of stress. Number two, having him feel significant, like he's the man. Does that
And
make
how do I
sense?
do that?
I know I can't, just not enough time on this call to go into it. I really do want to, right? Is the bottom line. Here, listen, I do
Hmm.
want to, look, I do want you to get on a call with one of my coaches, but there are specific things that you want to do systematically that we got to put it. And there's also toxicity that you have in your relationship that has to be removed. Why?
Okay.
Because when he's been wanting to alleviate stress, you've been putting stress on him. So it's created a
Right.
long-term toxicity in the relationship, and we've got to alleviate that stress, is the bottom line.
Right.
All right. And so you're going to need to do that, but you guys still have a very healthy relationship, believe it or not, even though there's that thing going, that affair partner that's currently in the picture. We're going to get rid of that person. Does that make sense? All right.
Hmm.
Yes, we getting rid of her, girl. Home wrecker. All right. I mean that. All right. And so, I mean that. So look, I would love for you to just check in and just get on a
Can
call.
you leave me the link up to your book as well
Yeah,
or something?
can you do that? Brian, make sure that she's got access to it. Yeah, but really, I want to make sure that we check back in with you because I know if you do what I'm asking you to do, it's gonna shift everything. Okay, is the bottom line.
Okay.
All right, so make sure that we get your information and do what I'm asking you to do.
Okay.
Watch within a very short period of time because those are the two things that he needs more than anything else
Hmm.
because those are his two things, his primary drivers for life,
Hmm.
like literally, when you start pinging those two things, he doesn't need to go anywhere else. It's work to go out there and find somebody else. And then you gotta go do your dirt and then come home. That's too much work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like
Right.
he wants to be home. He hasn't gotten what he needed here.
Right. For me. I got it.
Exactly. So when we can actually deliver that to him, he's a good man. I know he's a good man. You chose him. I
He
know I
definitely is
can
a good
tell you.
man. I'm not outside of that. He definitely is a good
I
man.
know he's a good man, right? I can tell
Mhm.
he's a good man. And so I know he wants to, that's his default, and he wants to come back to that. But we've got to give him a place where the inflammation can come down and he can be that man again. Does that make sense?
Okay. Absolutely.
Do me a favor, just make sure you put your information in. I want you to put your information. I want to check back in with you is the bottom line. Because I know
Okay.
that you do what I'm asking you to do, we're going to shift your relationship. Okay.
Okay.
All right, is the bottom line. So send it to admin. Just go to look on admin on the chat. I don't know if you can see it inside the chat, and just make
I
sure we
see.
have your info or whatever. And like I said, if you want to be a part of my community, I'd love to have you be a part of my community. I'll figure out what we can do for you is the bottom line. If you want to know all the, to the everyday, like literally step by step, how we're going to walk this thing out, then we're going to do it. But
Hmm.
you have a lot on the
Okay.
line. It's the bottom line. How old are your kids?
Gotcha. 22, 15, 9 and 5.
Yeah. Okay. You could run you got the spectrum, right? You got everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So good. So you have school age children, and honestly, you have a lot to fight for, is the bottom
Right.
line. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, let's fight is the bottom line. So really, I do. I want you to put your information, and I want you to look at if this is something that you want to do, and I want to help you if I can to be a part of
Okay.
this. All right, is what I want to say, and then we'll follow up with you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Lana, thank you so much. Thanks for your sharing. I really
Thank
do
you.
feel very, very strongly that your relationship will be saved if you do the right things here. Okay?
Hmm.
You got this, okay? Guys, give it up for
Okay.
Lana. Thank you.